Chatty Cathy. Morning everyone. So we are back on our extension job over in Coventry, but we are waiting for the windows and doors. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button in the corner, which I think is that one. Tell me if I'm wrong. So we're going to give you a little update of where we're at, and also I'm going to show you some of the garden lighting design which I've been getting on with. So it's been pretty difficult to film at times because we have been cutting, well I say we, Steve's been cutting all of the slabs and stuff like that on that big bad boy. So it's mega loud and it's just really awkward, so I won't be able to do too much for little bits and bobs. So we're just coming in to lay this one. Perfect timing almost. So we're going to be, so these are ground lights set up that we've done before, we've seen on previous videos. So underneath here is armoured, and we've got a Whisker 308, and then we've got the bit of metal Copex and brought through into our pots. So then that gives me plenty enough room to sink that in. Also underneath, the water sits in there. It will drain off. Whoa, it will drain off. He was sneaking in on me. So the way we cut those, oh, Sean's going to be laying that right now. I'll show him laying it. You wouldn't have believed last week that this lad was off all week with a bad back. I don't know why he was like that.
It's still a little
bit tender. So we use the suckers to put that down, and obviously you've got the 60mm cut out there. And then the levelling system, which Shawnee will be using, which is that one over there. The levelling system, aka big massive sledge, but I meant the red tags. I meant the red tags, the red tag event. So the hole saws that we use for those porcelain, I've got asked quite a few times. I order those through an online company that delivers the next day. So that is a 60mm what we use for those, but these ones in particular that go into your 4-inch grinder actually seem to last a lot longer. So that's that. So that's what I've been getting on with. The last video I put up was of me getting soaked around here onto trying to sort this lot out with the board. Now the board's all ready to go in there. Just need to get the kinetic stuff, which is ordered, but I'm on that. But we've got this stump to get out, so we've had to bring the cables back up, and we're waiting for a stump grinder to come and sort that out. So water feature also on here, that's going to be powered up. So the idea behind that is just the other side here. The cable's just flapping about here at the minute, but basically on the return side of here we're going to have an IP rated fuse spur, which is then going to take care of that, and that's going to be fed via the kinetic switching. There's a 16 amp kinetic switch which will all be back in there, but the modules and stuff are all going in that box. So on this bit we've got, so I've already terminated this, all ready to go. So across the face of here, there's going to be some timbers, so we're going to make like the slatted fencing effect, and then we're going to have a couple of lights that shine down. That's why those cables are long at the minute. So same there and there. So that is where they're going to be going on. So what I'm doing now is, if I can film in between, is I did this yesterday. So I've got my Whisker 308s on. Now the idea is that I've got these spike lights which I'm now just setting up. So these Knightsbridge spike lights which I'm now going to be wiring in, which I'm going to go through with you guys in a minute. Oh, Kian's found my glasses that went missing, so thanks Unilight as well for that. They went missing. So what I've done here, so I've got it all terminated in, which I'll show you inside in a second. Because I wanted to get on and I had to order those lights, I put the stuffing gland in and cut a piece of flex so I can clamp it off to make sure, because obviously it rained last night, to make sure that stays nice and sealed and dried. So then today it's just a case of making those lights up and then feeding them, basically put them in here, and then the clients can fit them wherever they want then afterwards and bury the rest of that cable. So that's what we're going to do. Right, so the Knightsbridge spike lights, we're going for warm white throughout the whole thing. I know. Still talking to that black box, mate. So basically what we'll do there, so I like to keep the flex a bit more protected. So we are using the metal bit of Copex, that bad boy. The idea behind that is it gives it a little bit more protection. Hold fire. He is grinding. How noisy is that? Unbelievable. Right, it's the second time we've tried to film. It's got to be really quick because the boys are on it. They are going mental back there. They want to. I've started filming and then they started cutting. Right, so I'm going to be using the metal Copex on there to give that cable a bit more protection, because obviously when the way I do it is leaving that flex on so the customer can rearrange it as the seasons change. All the spike lights that we use are warm white because I think it looks nicer in the garden. Oh my God, Sean's just moving the whacker plate. Panicking. Yeah, so the idea is I'm going to do it that way. So obviously it gives that a little bit more protection. I'm trying, Steve, I'm trying. So that is the idea of it. Anyway, I'm going to show you a bit closer up. Hold on before they kill me. So this is basically the setup now. So I've pushed that up onto the back of that gland there, and then obviously we'll run that round, keeping that nice and tight on that stuffing gland, and then be wiring it into that bad boy. So like I said, I use a bit of offcut of cable just to make sure there's no moisture going in there for now. Yeah, I could have not put that stuffing gland in, but I wanted to get on and get it all prepped. So this is a nice easy install, and I leave it roughly 800 mil long. So as the seasons change and different plants and stuff grow, that can all be moved out and highlighting different areas and stuff, because all this is going to be changed. So right, I'm going to let them do that cut. Right, so we're going to get this all wired up. So they all come obviously with a long, actually this set was a massive lead like that. Don't need it that long. So basically on the back of it, you got that little gland there. So I just slide that up so that actually sits over it. So you just push that over there like that. And then the gist of it is then, so we've got a bit of a lean on there. The ground isn't that far out, to be fair, it's just a stupid camera. And then the idea is then, is that we'll use our wire strippers. The key is obviously not to go too far. And get all that prepared, ready to go. And then what I'll do is we're going to go and wire that one in over there. Right, so we are now back at this point here. We've got a little bit of sing-song going on. So this is what we got prepared earlier, like Blue Peter. So the idea is feed that through, and if you can see that properly. So what I like to do is get that flex there, pull that so it's fairly tight. So you're obviously pulling it that way. And then as you tighten that up, it kind of just compresses everything in nicely. Like I say, it's not completely watertight, but that doesn't matter. But that is, all the connections are, because it's obviously watertight both ends, which is fine. And then what we'll do is obviously just connect these up in the right ways. Now, I don't know whether they do Wago 221s. It's 4 ways, because as it stands right now, I can't. Well, I haven't seen any in the wholesaler anyway. So if they do them, let me know in the description below. The only downside about doing this way is actually making it all neat in there. So for those of you who don't know, this is the Whisker 308 box, earthing link, and then obviously you carry on that flying lead through here to continue your earth path from all of your armoured supplies all the way through, right the way back to the board at the other end. And obviously they're rated IP68, I believe. Also, if you gel them, which you can gel them, but I'm not going to do these ones, but if I bury them, then I will. Then the gel ones, when you gel them, when you use the actual gel liquid, it makes a much better job if you are going to bury it. And then let me show you over here. So then that is basically how we leave it now. So that is all like that, wrapped round, and then the client can move this around wherever they want, but for now I will just put them here, and then the customer can, if they want it over there, it's fine, and then they can bury that and they can crack on. So that is basically how I go about doing my garden spike lights. Yo, today's video is sponsored by Tradify. For those of you who don't know what Tradify is, it is a job management software. So we use that for running our entire company, from quotations, invoicing, day-to-day running of who needs to be where and all that sort of stuff. It's a brilliant piece of kit, to be honest, and we would genuinely be lost without it. If you want to do the 14-day free trial, like what we did quite a long time ago now. The link will be in the description below. Okay, you get a 14-day free trial, and when you realise how amazing it actually is, if you use the promo code GHawk50, you'll get 50% off for the first 3 months. Right, let's get back to the video. Hope you enjoy. So the cable is going to be, well, it's basically buried down here, all the way back through. The ground's all going to be made up and stuff anyway. And then this is the enclosure where it is. So just inside here, we've got my consumer unit here, all my controls, so all the armoured cables coming up and all terminated at the bottom. I've got in this section here, there's a little Whisker 308 where I've brought all the flying leads earths into here. And then here, there's going to be all of the kinetic switching. That's where that is. So I thought I'd just quickly show you that. I might even put a picture up of it when it was in its phases around here somewhere. But yeah, so that's where we're at the minute. So I think the next job for me, so I think I'm just going to show you, we're going to terminate the switch spur for that water feature. I think that's what we're going to do. Right, so we're just going to get on with sorting this out before Steve does another cut. So we're using the BG IP66 fuse spur. So first of all, we're going to need to terminate the armoured on here. So let's bring you in a little bit closer. So please hold, please hold. Okay, so a little tip for getting a perfect cut on these is if you put it on the wrong way and slide it down, you'll see like a mark appearing. So if you use your knife, score it, and to be honest it's better off on a bit of timber if you score it like so, you've got a mark like that, and then I'll just cut that all the way through like so, to take a bit off, and then that should give you a nice tight fit on there, which that is. Okay, so the idea then after that is I always use like I think it's actually designed for plumbing really, the old backhoe pipe slice. This cable's a bit different to what I normally would use. It's actually almost like a softer compound, so it is a little trickier to actually use. The normal one I normally use is actually a lot easier, but I prefer this for dressing in. Okay, so hopefully you can see that all right. So normally on the older stuff you can actually just do this all in one go, but with this stuff I found you having to sort of peel almost individual ones and just work it like that. Yeah, I think there might be a little bit of a bleep going on there. For the potty mouth over there, I'm gonna have to just hold on.
Are you filming?
There's been some. Hello, there's been some foul language over there by my colleagues. I do apologise for all of you.
On Steve's behalf.
On Steve's behalf. Yes, on Steve's behalf. So, I think Steve is waiting for me, to be fair. So, with this, like this cable here, it's because it's a softer compound on there. It ends up you can't slice it as well. So, I didn't realise the camera was on. Fools. More editing work, boys. Although some of you might say, what editing? Fine. Stephen's pulling rank over here, lot. Want some noise cut in. Hold on. Right, so that's all terminated now. Got all the rest of those bits of wire off. Now, sliding that gland on, and that piece goes in. And that bad boy. So the best way of doing that is just circle that round, and then that one slots in there, making sure you've got none of the steel wires on the outside, on the inside, sorry. So they're all on the outside like that. Hopefully you can see it all. And then you slide that one up to it, and then tighten it up, and it all locks into place then. And then you use your clamps, or your grips, sorry. Okay, and that keeps that nice and tight. And then you need to try and do now, which I've been caught out a few times, is on the inside of there, there's a rubber seal, because obviously these are the outside glands, that sometimes if you tighten those up, you'll find that the ring's not, the rubber's not gone all the way around tight, and it's sort of kicked out, so just be aware of that. So always double check it, and then that can slide up like that. And then basically the gist of it is then that will go inside there, tighten down, and then we'll fix that onto the back of the wall. So I'm going to get on with that, and then I shall jump back in and show you the finished product. Right, so we're coming up to fix this fuse spur back to the block. So we've got a con block, and it's a heavy duty. What is it? It's 7 or 9 newtons. 7 newtons, the con blocks that are on this returning wall, and we are using this. So it's the Pulsar 27E from Spit. Okay, so obviously that fires different nails. So it's new to me, so we're learning as we're going. So with this, the idea is that I don't have to get the SDS out and plug it and screw it at the same time. It all does it in one go. So there will be a full video on this, on different fixings and all that sort of stuff, different types of material that we're fixing it to. But what I'm going to use is this to pin it to it. So I've already fixed it now, so I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to actually show you in action as well. So as we stand right now, we've got the actual box mounted up there. So we've already fired these two through in here into the con block. So I've got the top two. They are quite close to this top here. But the idea of it is, if I can move you guys there. Okay, so that is now putting 4 strong fixings into that concrete block, and the only way to get that off now is actually to smash that off, which we don't need it off anyway. They do actually other fixings in there that you can use, which have actually got a screw head on them, so you can take them out if you want to, but for this instance we don't need to. That's its permanent place anyway. Now the other thing is with the armoured, now you might think why you're not earthing that armoured supply, but down the other end, which is actually back at the board, all of the outgoing supplies are all earthed, and I only needed to do on the border lights over there. I need to do all the links in between, because you obviously don't need to do it both ends, you just get the one end. That's all sorted. So yeah, so absolutely brilliant bit of kit, but like I say, watch out for the old full demo on that bad boy. Right, so we've got that all wired up now, all ready to go. That's all switched on as well, so we'll be doing all my testing all in one go back to obviously the board. I'll test it all in one go, because at the minute there's no power down there, because it is actually that cable there ready to go back inside. But yeah, so that's it for me today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and turn your notifications on if you have subscribed, and if you haven't, make sure you hit the link in the corner. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.